Okay, and welcome to the Rondo, the pre-PL season special. The Premier League is back, man. No, you know what? Round of applause. Round of applause. You know what? That was fantastic. Honestly, there's not a lot of things that we have left in the alleged Great Britain. But the Premier League is something about this country, that will never make me stop loving it. It's the only thing I got. No. In all seriousness, it is great to have it back. We had a great Euros, but I think, Max, you said earlier, there's nothing like Premier League
can't
football.
beat it, man.
Nothing like it, man.
Well, anyway, it's your boy AA hosting, as normal. I'm joined by...
RM here, representing United.
Rahimi, United's only representative here. One way or no way, these guys are fraud.
Starting early.
I'm the Liverpool rep today, so, I got back. Arnie Slot's boys.
Come on. And you guys know I'm impartial. So,
Okay.
hey, man, I'm bleeding red always, man. I got to say I'm bleeding Liverpool, man. But yeah, come on. Cool. Let's kind of go into it. So today we are going to be doing just a whole load of shouts for the season and just kind of discussing it, bouncing off each other. So we're going to start off with our top 6 for the season. Then we're going to do our relegation 3. Then we're going to do our PFA winner. Then we're going to do our own club's surprise or best player for the season, whichever one you want. And then flop for the season. Then we're going to come together and agree a surprise and flop for the season as well.
When do we...
And then to finish off,
sorry? No, you finish.
and just to finish off, we're just going to go and do like a little bit around transfers and latest in football.
Okay.
So
When do we do our hot take?
the hot Rondo take.
man.
That will be the first one.
Because I want a prediction that I want on camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Okay,
want them
fair.
to see it. I want them to come back to it when it happens.
Okay. So we'll do our top 6 and our relegation 3 to warm ourselves up, and then we'll do our Rondos.
He might have even set himself up for fate. The maddest failure.
So we are starting off with our top 6 for the season. Max is just writing his, and then we'll just kind of go along. We are sharing one pen. I apologize, guys. I promise we're not poor.
The thing is...
But we are forever rich in the Holy Spirit, at least, anyway.
Amen.
Shall I go for it again?
We'll just we'll
Okay,
write
nice.
it down, and then we'll just kind of like...
The thing is, do you think, while we're writing it down, little tangent, do you think it's going to... You know how it went from top 4 to top 6? It's going to have to become like top 8 or something? Because
I think so soon.
there's some teams that...
Yeah, honestly, it was tough.
They're not making my list.
I
And
think
like they should be mentioned.
Villa and Newcastle are pushing for me.
Yeah.
Like, they're nearly
Yeah.
there.
Well, I've got them in my top 6.
They've
So
given
have I,
us some
so
proper...
have I, yeah.
Villa?
So have I. I've got
Yeah.
Villa and Newcastle.
Yeah, I've same.
I've got them high. But anyway, Max, I think you can start. We can write as you go along.
So I've gone with Arsenal to top.
Okay,
to the top
wow.
and take the crown. First title in, 20 years or so. I think their defence is solid. I think they've been pushing the last couple of seasons. I think it's only a matter of time. I hope so as well, to be honest, because I'm bored of City. I can't deal with...
5 PLs in a row would be disgusting.
I can't deal with that. But I've got City second, Liverpool third. I think what I've seen from Slot so far, obviously I'm kind of biased, but I think we'll keep our top 3 spot. Spurs going to sneak in 4th, and then United and Chelsea to finish off. So I've gone with the traditional top 6.
Cool. What makes you think that Arsenal are going to get it over City?
I think City have kind of a little sort of drop off from their point of view. They've just gone massive the past couple of seasons, and I think it will take a hit on them. I think they've lost a bit of quality here and there. Gundogan, Mahrez, I think time will show with them signings. They haven't actually brought in too many faces either.
No, not too many, yeah.
So, yeah, I think Arsenal just got the momentum. If they start the season fast, like Liverpool did in 1920, I think there's no catching them this time.
But you see the thing with City and their signings, yeah? They almost do that thing where they get a signing and in their first year, they keep... That signing's kind of quiet, and it's almost like they're not really part of the team until the second. It's like they haven't even really integrated
Nunes.
properly.
Yeah, he's been completely
Doku's
outside.
still was 50-50 that first season. Not in terms of how he necessarily played, but in terms of just being integrated into the team.
Yeah.
They've bought what's his name? Savio?
Yeah.
Saviola? Something like that. I don't know. Great name for a footballer.
Yeah, but they could grow.
Throwback Pro
Yeah.
Their signings could grow into something, but I just feel like that guaranteed quality that they've let go the past couple of years.
Yeah.
It
To be
will
fair,
tell.
Yeah,
City,
might tell.
they've been don't give it to us.
I'm deliberating.
They've been quiet in the market. I don't know if they got something like in the tuck or
I think they're worried about those charges.
yeah.
I think that's their main. That should be the forefront of their
Yeah, no, I
concern.
hear it. What? Because did that's one thing I noticed last season. It looked like the money's dried up, or they don't necessarily want to spend it because of either optics or just to be safe in the eyes of the law. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Rahimi, go on.
Top 6. So
Show us the board.
oh sorry, similarly to Max, I've gone with Arsenal top, just because I absolutely Manchester City cannot win the Premier League again.
Okay.
But in addition to that, I actually think.
But do you think they'll
Arsenal-
actually do? Okay, no, you're gonna go.
Yeah,
on.
so Arsenal, it has less to do with City's drop off and more to do with Arsenal and experience. I feel like football is constantly learning experiences. They've been bitten twice at the end, Arsenal, and I feel like those players now, they've got the bit between their teeth and they're going to make sure they get over the line this year. As Max said similarly, if they start fast, there's no catching them. Arsenal went on a crazy streak last year and the year before where they just weren't losing games. And I feel like if they can do that again this year with the experience that those players have got now in the past couple of years, in addition to the signings, they've bought that left back, Calafiori, he's very good left back, sort of centre back sort of player. They've bolstered their defence. Gabriel Jesus looks like he's got fire in his belly in this pre-season from what I've seen from the games that I've watched. I still want them to get a striker, and I think if they do get a striker, that will guarantee it for me.
I'm not sure they are going to get one though. It doesn't look like.
And that's what I'm saying. But even without it, I think Arsenal have got enough to sort of get them over the line.
Interesting.
Manchester City are that good. They can be shit for half the season and still finish second. So I've still got them in my top 4. Liverpool, I don't know too much about your new manager. But what I do know is that...
Show us again. So you got Liverpool third.
Yeah, so
there.
I've got Liverpool third.
Yeah.
So I don't know too much about Arne Slot. I know, obviously, I've seen some of his style of play. However, Liverpool's core in terms of your team, your base and your structure is good enough to get you
There.
to play.
What's that sound?
It's my fan.
Oh, fair. Do you want to put on the low?
The low end.
Yeah.
I'll do that in a second. But Arne Slot and Liverpool's core sort of team and their structure, like Alisson is still world class, Van Dijk is still world class, Trent is still very, very good. Can't give him. I can't give him that.
can't give him it,
Yeah, I can't give him the upper echelon, but he's very, very good.
Yeah.
You lot still have a very good core, and I feel like Liverpool, even on an off season, will do well, even with a manager that isn't yet proven in the Premier League. Manchester United, this is a bit of bias coming in. My team cannot finish outside of the top 4. There needs to be significant improvements in style of play and results this year. If we don't finish 4th, I'll be very disappointed. I want us to be in the Champions League next year. And then I've left out Chelsea and Tottenham. I'll come on to Tottenham later on, but I just feel like those two teams are not set up to consistently win games in the league.
Okay.
So I've gone with Newcastle and Villa instead of those two.
First, United 4th is interesting.
It's punchy. It's punchy.
It's strong.
We'll get onto that.
We'll get onto that.
I personally don't even think.
Yeah, no, you want to go first. Let me go. Let me have that. Let me have that.
Wait, so you don't have United?
Don't. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Sorry.
Let me. All right, so here are my predictions. So I've gone with City first and Arsenal second. But if I'm being honest, I don't really have a prediction to make either way in terms of who will win the league between them. I think it'll be the same like the past 2 seasons. It'll be
either or.
Yeah, either or. Arsenal and City will push each other. I've just gone City because you guys all know I hate Arsenal with a passion deep down in my core. And I can never predict them to win the league, never in my life. So City first, Arsenal second. I've gone Villa third.
Villa third?
Yeah. I've gone Villa third.
Umbara third?
Yeah.
That might be your Rondo.
Yeah, no, only because
This guy's a madman.
so if you look at their form last season, especially towards the tail end, I think their league position kind of it insulted them a bit. I think they actually deserved to finish higher last season. And I think in terms of the signings they made, I've actually been quite impressed. Like Onana will genuinely transform their midfield, and like he's so perfect in terms of what Emery wants.
Yeah, he's a
from
perfect Emery
midfielder
player.
too.
Yeah,
and like I just look at their core, and like it's so admirable. It's like you've got Watkins up front, you've got Onana, you've got solid
Barkley,
centre backs.
Kamara.
That's what I'm
Solid
saying.
Very
Like
shrewd signing.
that's what I'm saying. They've got.
Their spine.
Yeah.
The spine of their team is
They've-
quite strong.
It's potential. I think they can really do a lot this season. That being said, in terms of like my third to kind of fifth, I'll be honest, it's again a lot. I don't think there's much in between all these teams. I think, yeah, so I've gone Liverpool fourth, similar reasons to Rahimi. I just think the cause that it's solid, right? You got Salah, you got Van Dijk, Trent, and I think Slot might breathing some new life into these
Okay,
players.
interesting.
Newcastle, again, I think they'll kind of stay on the same trajectory.
Well, that would be a bit better for them. They came 7th last season.
Yeah, but again, I think
And they were quite poor at times.
they were quite poor at times, but I think again, like Villa, they deserve to finish higher. Like 7th made them look like they were on par with United, and they were a much better team than United last season.
They weren't.
They were.
had
They
some
100%
periods,
were.
though.
They scored 30 more goals than us.
They had a good day. They had a good attack, but the
scored-
defense was bad
Alright, well,
last season.
So they were better than us.
Yeah, well, not by
And also, they suffer from a lot of injuries at the start of the season.
yeah.
Did United not? Did we not suffer from the same injuries?
But our injuries are self-inflicted. Yeah, our manager can't. Our manager. How do I know that? Because our manager can't train players, and they constantly fall down like flies. Hence why the same patterns we saw last season are already starting this season. Anyways, Tottenham 6 again, similar. I think they'll be thereabouts same place last season. I don't think they'll quite kick on. And then United will not make it anywhere. I think.
So you're a United fan. You're saying they won't even get top 6.
Yeah, I think the problem with United is that we actually overperformed last season in terms of league position. If you actually look at the underlying stats and then
Really?
you just watch how we played, we deserve to lose a lot more
I actually
than we
agree with
actually
that,
did.
Unfortunately,
So,
You know what? Actually, now that you
I
mention
actually
so
it,
agree
there's
with that.
so there's
So
gen-
many games
so
we
there's
lost.
genuinely
yeah, he's actually hitting it.
so there's genuinely a reality where United can improve on last season,
finish
but
last season,
end up further down or in a similar place in the table. And I think naturally there will be some improvements. Hopefully we'll sort out the injuries. Van Nistelrooy looks like he's brought in some good ideas, like that 4-4-2 pressing shape seems to have come from him. So like there are positives to take, but one, we haven't improved our starting 11. And two, I watched last preseason Ten Hag go through a whole new system that looked good, and then in the first match, just abandon it completely. So there's very much a reality where we improve, but do worse. And that's
Okay, cool. Me last. So I've gone for City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Spurs, and Chelsea. So yeah, some surprises there. I suppose Man United not being in the top 6, but I just don't think they're very good.
Facts.
But if we start at the top of the table, listen, I think it's very close between City and Arsenal. But you know what, with City, I just don't know. They just seem so inevitable. I feel like it's gonna be Pep's last season potentially. So we'll see. But I think if it is his last season, there's no way that man ain't leaving with that PL in his hand. He's an absolute madman. I do think they are a bit weaker, but they still have so much quality in some areas. And I think guys like Savino and stuff like that, I think they're going to be better than people think. I think Doku could kick on.
Oscar Bob as well.
Oscar Bob as well. I think people look at Doku last season. Yeah, he was like a bit hit and miss. But
I see a player.
players
There's a
do.
player
It's
there.
very.
I
There's
see
a
a
player
player- I see
there,
a player
and
there.
players do very well in their second season under Pep. Pep also just like he finds solutions out of nowhere. Like Grealish could end up being good next season. He's very good at like just kind of
Evolving,
breathing.
creating
Yeah.
Yeah,
system,
breathing
That
life.
happens a lot.
He'll just like I like imagine Pep like in bed. He's just like I have an idea.
He'll shoot up out of
Yeah,
like 4
honestly,
a.m.
new like 3-2, 3-3-1 formation or whatever doesn't even add up to 11. But honestly, in his head, who knows? Arsenal second, I think they'll be very good, but I just think that City will start well. So I then think, you know, it might be hard for them. To be fair, if City don't start well and Arsenal, and I know Arsenal will start well, they could still sneak the title. Liverpool third, I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. I think Liverpool are going to be up there. I think that we're going to do well, but it's still like Slot's first season, so I think there's going to be periods where we drop off a little bit, and there's going to be some learning. Villa fourth, I'm hearing might be a surprise to some, but like Raf said, a lot of what like Raf said, I think they've got a real good team, a real good spine. They've made some real good signings. Now I've got Spurs fifth and Chelsea sixth. I feel like Spurs. I still feel like Postecoglou is just going to take a little bit of a while for it to fully click. I don't think they're going to get CO again. Chelsea, I think, is just be like, they'll be decent. They've got some good players, but it's just a matter of learning. Like, new system, very different to Poch's. They've got so many young players as well, and so many players that just don't really convince me. And then Newcastle just haven't convinced me to really kick on. And I just don't... If United Ineos' signings have not been too bad, but I don't think Ineos realise the
job
situation that
the
they've
task
come
at
into.
hand, yeah.
The fact they've kept Ten Hag, I don't think they realise they need some midfield signings. They seem to be quite lax about the midfield. Oh yeah, we'll get Ugarte if it works for us. No, you need Ugarte and probably somebody else. I really think United should have got Onana as well. I think that was a huge miss. I think it would have been a perfect fit for him for about 50
I
million.
really wanted that guy, man.
So, and I just feel like it's a big miss. So I feel like they haven't clocked it. If they do some more work over the summer, I can rate United highly. But as they stand,
It's not looking good.
I think United are
not looking good.
coming 7th, 8th again, which is dire for them.
And that's the thing, the signings, they're not bad players, but they're just not the right signings we need now.
That's what I don't think Ineos realized that when you were originally doing it, I was thinking, oh, it's really good. But then I was noticing, oh, they're not really kicking on. I don't think they realized that starting 11 needs to improve.
Well, that's the thing.
It's not just like a couple of young players that can.
Our best starting 11 is still the same starting 11 from last season, and
I don't think so.
who gets in?
Ahmad gets in, and that's one of the players.
All right, but it's still
That's not a signing.
It's not a
though,
signing.
It's
is it?
not signing, but the start.
But also,
is not the same.
Ahmad towards like the last 2 months of the season, like kind of, he made that right wing spot his anyway. So I don't really.
There is a world as well where Ten Hag doesn't obviously see through the whole
Oh,
season.
bro, let's get to that.
And that's what my prediction's about. I think the pressure will build on him early if he doesn't start the season well. Get rid of him. Get someone like Ollie in to boost the morale.
Oh no, bro, you haven't even seen the picture. I do it now. So my hot take now.
Let's do Rondo.
If we're on the topic,
Just hold the bib. Don't even wear it.
Nah,
It's
bro,
too hot, man.
Bro, I'm gonna use it to wipe the sweat off my brow. If anything,
Jesus.
bro, this is too much.
It's mad still.
right.
We'll take a break after the Rondos. 'Cause
So obviously,
I think it's needed. Honestly, when I'm talking, it's like I can't even make my point fully because I'm feeling the sweat building up on my brow. I can't give it that energy.
am I making this take? Yeah.
Go on.
Let me get the bib. All right, guys, you haven't seen the play. Ineos, that's why I'm even reserving judgment. Yeah, because right now it looks like what Ineos is doing is a bit.
You could do that bib, bro.
Nah, yeah.
Balotelli.
Anyways, what Ineos are doing, it seems like it's just the same old, but they have a play for me. They have a play. So as Max has said, there's definitely a reality where Erik ten Hag doesn't finish United manager doesn't finish the season as the United manager. More to that, I think if you've actually looked at what Ineos have done, they have zero confidence in Erik ten Hag. They've taken 3 head coaches and made them assistant coaches.
That's actually true.
Further to that, they've taken Van Nistelrooy, who's actually a very well-regarded coach in the Dutch league
Netherlands,
as well. I think the play is they're waiting it out, and by December, Ten Hag will be sacked and Van Nistelrooy will be the United manager.
Oh, so you think it's a
that's
whole
the play.
plan?
Because if you look at pre-season as well, the influence that Van Nistelrooy has on the team, you can clearly see it. The shape is essentially the same as what he was doing at PSV. Not that I watch PSV, but it's what I've been told by the tacticals.
He's been taking the leading role and kind of getting signings over the line.
Yeah, literally.
There's been some big rumors that the players really are taking to him.
I mean, of course, like, it's
it's
one
like
of the best strikers of all time.
Yeah.
And he's a Man United club legend as well. Van Nistelrooy will be the United manager by February 2025 at the latest.
All right.
Okay,
quick,
mad.
quick
That's
question.
a big shout.
That's my. Write it down. Remember it.
Quick
come
question,
back to
quick
it.
question for Raf. When United were when we were in our pomp in our heyday, who was our manager?
Sir Alex Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson. Who took all of the training sessions? Who was the head coach? Carlos Queiroz, right? And that's who all the players give all the credit to in terms of how they played, how they delivered, and how we won trophies. Yes or no?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the exact opposite to what you said in terms of, I think Ineos are relinquishing responsibility from Ten Hag so that you can focus on the managerial aspect and then leaving the coaching to people that actually know how to do it.
See, that would be a fair argument, if not for 2 reasons. Firstly, Erik ten Hag hasn't appointed these people himself. Yeah.
Oh, did you not? Has he not?
No, Ineos have appointed these people, so that's never a good sign if you're in a job, right? And you're not being given like an assistant or someone under you. You've been given 4 people, 4 people that are just as qualified as you to assist you in your role. That's never a sign. That's never a sign of confidence. Secondly, they're taking those managerial aspects you speak of away from Ten Hag. They're taking transfers away from him. They're taking scouting away from him. They've clearly said all they want the manager and Ten Hag to be is a head coach. They've said he's not a manager anymore. He's purely a head coach. So that's
is
not.
that what they've released as well?
So his job is literally to focus on training, bro.
And even if that is the case, the point still stands that when Ferguson was doing his greatest work, he was the manager.
But that was his style of management. That's how he. That's how he
had a lot of
chose.
control over transfers.
That's how he chose to manage.
General direction of the club.
Exactly. That's how he chose to manage.
A lot of managers
it's not a
now
choice by Ten Hag.
are kind of like how Ten Hag
umbrella.
is.
Yeah, they're just the umbrella.
They're just the umbrella.
There's people underneath them that do the things that need to be done
But Ten
correctly.
Hag before Ineos came in and after Ineos and after Ineos came in, has specifically gone out in the press and said, I want control over transfers. And Ineos have come out and said, you're not getting that.
And I prefer that. I don't want him to have
Agreed,
control over transfers. Why the hell does he have control over transfers?
Fine, but then that's not him taking reins of the managerial side of the club and not focusing on training and coaching. That's Ineos taking away responsibility from him because they're actively trying to undermine him and setting him up to go.
I think there's truth in both of what you're saying.
No, this is a succession plan.
I think they're doing. I think there is that backup plan in their minds, but I also think Ten Hag might thrive in this position.
Obviously, look, if Ten Hag,
the manager will still like Ruud van Nistelrooy cannot say, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna start playing," a random style of play that Ten Hag hasn't said. It will be Ten Hag will say, "I want this style of play," and Ruud van Nistelrooy's job will be to
again
carry
no,
it
because Ineos have specifically said that the style of play is to be dictated by the technical director. So again, that's wrong. Like they're taking away all forms of responsibility away from him. To be honest, if you actually look at it right now, his only responsibility is picking the team and press conferences. Like, everything else has been taken from him.
Cool. Any other rondos for the season?
Yeah, I've got one.
Cool.
I'm going to stick with Liverpool one. I think Harvey Elliott is going to get the most assists across the league, and he's going to get Young Player of the Year.
Oh wow!
That's a hot take.
That's a hot.
That's mad.
That is a take representative of the temperature in this room right now.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit hot. Wait, why is that a hot take?
Harvey Elliott.
I think assist-wise, yeah. But I can hit Young PFA.
Harvey Elliott's assist record last year.
No, but go on.
How many did he get?
Absolutely taken.
Hold on. How many did he get last year?
I can see
I don't
it.
think you guys realise what Harvey Elliott's getting.
But how many did he get last year?
I don't actually know, but I know from in the calendar year, I think only De Bruyne tops him across the Prem.
Impossible.
No, I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
pretty sure that's the stats. I'm pretty sure that's the stat.
His creative outlet is actually mad.
really good, you know.
And
So he's
look,
a
he
really
does
good
have
player.
to improve. He does have to
good
step
player.
up.
No, I agree.
But I think Slot's football's going to play into that. We're playing an outright number 10 now. So he's going to be that guy for me. It might be Szoboszlai, they might swap. But I think he's purely just going to be about creating chances. And that is basically what he's so good at. I don't know if you guys saw his 2 assists the other night. Crazy.
It's crazy because he's been on limited minutes for the past few years as well.
He has.
Still, his output has still been he's been productive.
Yeah.
He's a
Even
nice
against
player.
United.
But
Even against-
I'm genuinely interested. Because I think it is a hot take, definitely. But I don't think it's crazy. Like, what makes you think that that's crazy to you?
just because he's not a first team player in his own team, so how can he break through and have the output that you're saying? I think that's a long way to go. Maybe in a couple of years.
Do you know what it is? This is a Premier League with Kevin De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes in it.
These are creative specimens. Like
Yeah, but will De Bruyne play?
it doesn't
25
matter. De Bruyne
games.
can play half the games.
Bruno-
His output is still
Bruno
crazy.
will play 38.
and Bruno will play all the games, and he's getting assists.
Yeah. Bruno's gonna. Yeah, his output's always.
I am banking on, obviously, Slot's system working and Harvey Elliott stepping up slightly. So I do
So
get that.
you would also be saying that Harvey Elliott's going to be a consistent starter as well.
I think so. I think from what we're seeing in pre-season, I think he's the typical Slot player. Just focus on slower build up through to the number 10s, through the lines, and then create chances from there.
Has Slot relied on him during preseason?
Yeah, in the
he's been
2
playing.
games that he's played. Yeah, he's played really well as well.
I think we've got you guys in a preseason game soon.
It's just tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow evening. But yeah, that's mine.
Rahimi, any rondos?
Yeah, I've got one, but it's not as hot as that. Boom.
No, it's not.
That was a mad thing.
Bro, I'm literally sweating. I'm literally sweating.
We're going to take a break after these rondos.
Mine is
Jesus.
that I feel like Bournemouth are going to have in respect to Bournemouth, an unbelievable season. I feel like they're going to finish top 8, and I feel like they're going to either win a trophy. I think they'll win a Carabao or FA Cup or something of the sort.
Top 8.
The reason why I just feel like their manager, firstly, is excellent. Iraola he's gone under the radar, but he's actually a very, very good manager. Is the first thing, and he's got tactical nous. He's been to 3 finals. Obviously, he's lost them, but even to get there is mad. And he's at Bournemouth right now. I don't know if you guys have seen what he's done to Solanke. Solanke was
serious.
on the peripheral of he was gonna leave. The guy has turned into a Premier League striker that is scoring goals like every range of goals.
18, 19 goals, yeah.
18,
no.
19
It
goals.
looks like a real
But he's
striker.
got good fundamentals, Solanke.
He does.
He always did. That's why he always frustrated me.
He's been a sort of wonder. People knew about Solanke when we were like 16.
Bro, I
Like,
knew about
he's been-
16. I knew about Solanke
I've
when
been
I was
from
12.
time.
Like
Exactly.
he was
Yeah, like
he was
Solanke
that
was the
guy
guy. Yeah, Solanke
in
was the
South
guy.
London.
Solanke was and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes a manager to just bring out the best in a player. But I just feel like Bournemouth, they've made a few like Tyler Adams as well. He used to play for Leeds. He's a good centre midfielder. He's a good centre midfielder. I feel like they've made a few decent signings, and I feel like Bournemouth are going to do well in the next season.
Fair. Nice little shout. Nice little shout. No major Rondo from me, really, man. And I'm really hot, so.
Go on, man.
All right, relegation 3, guys.
Dancing. Relegation 3.
I've got the pen, so I'm just going to do it.
In order, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. No. I don't have an order. You're all going down, man.
Raf, let me get some of that tissue, please. That is needed for my face,
Bro.
not for the board. Love.
Who was my second? Oh yeah, I think 2 out of 3 coming up are going down.
Hey.
Same. Literally the exact same.
Yeah, I've done.
Who's
That's
my
what I've gone for
third?
too.
And then
I'll be real though. Whenever it's time to make these relegation shouts, let's be real. None of us watch Championship like that.
Not really like that.
not really. No. All right, I'll start. Raf, so let's get into it. So my relegation 3 are Leicester, Southampton, and Brentford. Funnily enough, so I'll start off with Leicester and Southampton. Again, I think there's a big gulf between the Premier League and the Championship at the moment. I think we saw a lot of that last season, where again, did everyone who came up go back down?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what happened last season. To be fair, I've gone for 2. But to be honest, I think Ipswich could go down. I think they're a bit of a wild card. The tactics could click. The tactics could go the other way because I feel like they're going to play a very front foot possession style of play, which when you don't have the quality, we saw it with Company and Burnley, right? Yeah. So Leicester and Southampton for me. Leicester first, lost their manager. Steve Cooper's come in. Steve Cooper never showed me anything at Nottingham Forest that was out of the ordinary. He's a decent manager. He's quite good on the man management side of things, but I think tactically he's quite mid. Southampton, I look at their 11, I just think
Dry.
Everybody's mid. Brentford, I just think they've had a good time, but I don't really feel like Brentford have I just feel like Thomas Frank, I feel like he'll be a little bit tired of like kind of consistently working on such a small budget. I think Tony, he might go. Even if he stays, he's going to be thinking about his move. And then what do they have after that? They still have a little bit. Obviously, they didn't have Tony for a lot of the season. Wissam and Mbeumo can do a little thing, but I just feel like for them, they'll just be a little bit tired. I mean, I also just think like, do you guys know any Brentford fans? I'm from London, right? I'm from Southeast, yes. But I know people from Southwest. I have not met.
I know one.
You know,
Natalie Sawyer.
Fairs, I don't know a single Brentford fan. Thanks for the name. But anyway, I've not met a single Brentford fan ever.
That being said, the Brentford fan I know is also
Natalie Sawyer?
no, not Natalie
also a
Sawyer. Yeah.
It's also a woman. Hey, no comments on that.
Nobody made a comment. My turn?
Yeah, sure.
I've gone for a pretty similar list, to be fair. I've gone Southampton. Again, this is in no particular order. Southampton, similar reasons. Like they're dry. They've been flirting with it for a while anyway, man. It's time to go. Every team like that of that level reaches their
peak and they go down.
Yeah, man, it's time for them to go. Ipswich, I just don't think they have the required quality to make it in the Premier League.
Okay.
They don't really have much financial backing.
No, not much at all.
Yeah, they're not. It's like when Nottingham Forest came in, they were trashing it, but they did the whole.
They bought a lot of players.
Yeah,
They bought a load of players.
Whereas Ipswich, they don't have the facilities for that. That being said, McKenna is a great manager. And I do think
him still.
I think he will be very adaptable because I think we saw at United, I think he had quite a lot of influence on the coaching and we had quite an adaptable style while he was there with Ollie. And then Brentford, again, similar reasons. I don't think they were that great last season. If they lose Tony, they're finished. Again, yeah, they've really, all good things must come to an end. It's just not that great of a team, really.
Facts. Yeah, I've gone the exact same.
Okay,
I've gone with
a lot of people had Brentford actually.
Yes, it's interesting. I'll start with Brentford actually because I think you hit a few points there that they've had 3 or 4 seasons in the Prem now. You just feel like the natural cycle may have come to an end. Tony, I've heard that he's looking to get a free transfer, so his head probably won't be in the game as much this last season. And they actually signed a new striker, a Brazilian striker, and he's got a really bad injury, so I think that could be a hit on them as well. He's their only signing, I believe. Ipswich, McKenna's obviously very good manager, but a lot of their squad is League One players, obviously back-to-back promotions, so I'm not sure they'll have the quality for that. Southampton, again, looked at their squad the other day, just looks like a bit of a championship squad to me, so I'm not convinced. I think Leicester will stay up because they shouldn't have gone down in the first place. They've got Premier League players at that level, so that's my 3.
Fair enough. I hear it, man. I hear it. Cool. All right, move it. Oh wait. Oh, Raheem, you haven't gone yet. Sorry.
I haven't gone yet. So similarly to
Oh,
everyone
Everton.
else, I've got Everton there. So I won't speak about Southampton.
Did you
Leicester
spell Everton correctly? there?
Oh yeah, my handwriting is just that's EVERTO.
Oh,
and
okay,
I'm not disabled.
Oh, fair.
That might have to get cut.
Disabled is harsh. That's probably a little.
What's worse?
I knew it was getting cut, so I thought I would just, I thought I'd just throw it all in.
Alright, cool,
But
let me
like, you
start
could have
again.
kept that bit in, nice little
start
bloom,
again.
but now you just ruined it.
Let me start again. Here's one I made earlier. Everton, Southampton, and Leicester. I'm not going to talk about Southampton and Leicester again because you've all gone in quite detail about why their squads are not up to it, why the managers are not up to it. I think Ipswich and McKenna, I actually think he'll come, and as Rafi said, he's quite adaptable. He's a very, very good manager. I think he will come up.
League One players, though, bro.
And that will be the only thing that's difficult for them. But I feel like he won't be like Company and where he's persistent in his style of play.
Oh, yeah,
even
yeah,
when
he'll
it's
adapt,
ridiculous.
yeah.
He'll
No, I
adapt
don't
and
see
he'll
that
get some
either,
points.
yeah.
He'll get some points. So that's why I think Ipswich will stay up. For Everton, I just feel like Everton have been flirting with relegation for 5 years plus. In fact, no, not 5 years, my whole life. Everton have been flirting with relegation dirtily. Like, this is a night out. This is 1 a.m. You got nothing left. You're chatting to the last thing that you can.
This is what they do.
This is what they do. This is their bread and butter.
It's been a long time for a while. Like.
They have been
And that's how they
flirting.
operate in the transfer market as well.
I find it crazy. They sold their best player. Onana's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand how crazy that is. Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't stay fit. What do Everton have?
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche.
Goodison Park. That's it.
Yeah, and Goodison
fan.
Park. Sean Dyche and
Sean
Goodison
Dyche
Park.
and-
And if anything,
I mean, Goodison
If-
Park.
if
ain't
Sean
gonna
Dyche
be
had
anything.
last season.
What did he have, like a 10-point deduction last season?
Bro,
He's
and
still-
that's-
and he's still got through. So Sean Dyche is the only thing that
Yeah.
that gives me the confidence that they will stay.
Well, I mean-
however,
no,
I think the selling of Onana is crazy and not replace. We haven't seen any links of replacements yet. I haven't seen anything yet. They've been flirting relegation for so many years now. Eventually, it's going to get too much and they're going to chop. You can't keep flirting for that long and not chop eventually. Eventually, you've made eye contact for this long, they're going to go down.
What an analogy.
If they lose Braithwaite as well to United, it's finished.
They're absolutely
It's
nicked.
finished.
And they have their last season at Goodison Park. So if they go down with the new stadium, the
Oh,
season after,
they might be
actually
finished
done.
as a
I think they'll
team.
be done. They'll be done as a team. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Goodison's
They can't go.
No, they literally can't go down. They can't.
And yeah, so that's why I think Everton will be the third team to go down.
So I was going to put Everton there for similar reasons, but Sean, because they got 2 points deductions
2 points,
in there,
but
and they
also-
still made it. You can't come
Also-
on. That's that dog.
But they finished 15th last year, 17th the year before.
Yeah.
That's consistently.
But they didn't have. Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. Let's go on to PFA for the season.
Player of the year.
I don't think there's any point of us bothering too much with whiteboards. I'm a bit tired of passing it around. It's only one player, so I think it's easy to follow. I'll start off, to be honest, because this is really my Rondo as well. That's why I saved it. Also because I was hot. I was going to say it earlier, but I was hot and I wanted the break. But yeah, where's the bib? Oh, there's it.
Give him the bit.
Yeah, my PFA player of the season is Martin Odegaard. And the reason why it's a Rondo is not just because it will be him. I think Martin Odegaard will be the best midfielder in the Premier League next season. I think he'll be the best player in the Premier League next season, obviously, as a PFA. I also feel like he will be like a top 5 player in the world, bro. I think in terms of midfielders, worldwide, when you think about the fact that Kroos is retired, Modric is kind of getting on, I think he's gonna be like the best midfielder in the world. I honestly feel like Odegaard has everything. Like, absolutely beautiful on the ball, can pick a pass. He hunts off the ball as well. Kind of playing this deeper 8 role that he's now playing as well, which I think suits him because I don't think like he's quite like he doesn't always like in the final third necessarily want to turn it on and really like, pick out, that pass. I think playing a little bit deeper really suits him, where he's able to kind of do the pre-assist, kind of build play. He's just got it like that, man. He is really just that guy. Honestly, I think it annoys me that he plays for Arsenal.
I echo everything you said, yeah, but right, what's his next development? What do you think he can actually get better at?
Do you know what I mean?
To go into that.
I
top
think it's,
five?
you know what? I think a lot of it is actually people just realizing how good he is. Because I think there's a lot of like Arsenal have a little bit of negative PR. I think they need to win something as well.
Yeah.
But I also do think he's gonna do a little bit more of like running games. We saw it at times from like January onwards, where it's just unbelievable. Like the Chelsea game that they played. Bro, I was like watching this guy. I was like, do people know how good this guy is right now? Like,
No,
like this performance right now is ridiculous. That the assist through to Havertz. But if you watch the game, bro, like it was an untouchable midfield performance. Like genuinely, like one of the best midfield performances I've watched in a while in the Prem.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
Oh, well, what's your thoughts on them then?
I just think the main problem with him. Don't get me wrong. I think Odegaard is a fantastic player, and I think he is one of the best midfielders in the league, hands down.
Yeah.
But I think he's just got that. He's got a bit of that Ozil in him, where because he doesn't necessarily have like that dog in him that like a Bruno or a De Bruyne has, that he won't be able to take games on the scruff of the neck. And I think it's kind of what we saw. We've seen it a bit with him as well over the past 2 seasons as well, in those kind of big moments where you're looking for him. He just doesn't necessarily turn up, and he doesn't strike me as that player that will ever develop that kind of like gene of
clutch.
Yeah, he's that guy. He just
I disagree, man.
He doesn't.
I think he's the one player at Arsenal that
he
has
just
it, man.
no. He doesn't. He doesn't. I think it's Saka. That's the guy. He doesn't.
I think
he doesn't
that's his
strike
next
me
stage
as
of
like.
development.
You see,
what
that's the
that's
next.
his
But he
next
doesn't.
stage of
I don't think
development.
he has that in him. He
I
just
think
doesn't.
I think that's gonna happen this year.
I think with like, if you compare him to like a Bruno or whatnot, obviously, technically, I think Odegaard's obviously a lot cleaner in terms of
Aesthetically, he looks better.
aesthetically and tight spaces. I don't necessarily think in terms of final ball action and technique, but Bruno just has that inevitability. You know, when United are 1-0 down, he's that guy you look for, and you know more time
He's going to produce.
He will produce. I just
going
don't
to
see that for Odegaard.
Actually, that's a good question though. So do you think Odegaard is better than Bruno Fernandes?
Right now, yeah.
What based off what though? What is that basis
I
of?
think he has a more consistent influence over the game when I watch it.
I don't think that's fair.
I think
at
that's
all.
I think it's the opposite.
That's
I think
not fair
Bruno
at all.
influences most games he's
Word.
playing.
I think Bruno more influences in moments. It's very, very good in terms of
that's-
like, yeah, I think Odegaard is more of a consistent influence over the 90 in terms of just consistently splitting lines, consistently, building play. I think Bruno's more like kind of excellent, like Bruno keeps it clean and then excellent assist out of nowhere, goal out of nowhere sort of player for me.
See, I think Odegaard is a football generator. I think whenever he gets the ball, something is happening.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily that's not always a good thing. That could be spreading it wide. That could be spreading it somewhat. Bruno Fernandes' action is always affecting the game in the final third. That is only an initial thought in his head. And I think that's the difference between the two of them.
Bruno drifts out of games more for me.
I
I think it's the opposite. I think Odegaard drifts out of games.
Nah, I don't think
and that's
so.
why that's why he
No,
hasn't been given the sort of because I agree with you, by the way. I think he'll be PFA Player of the Year next year. I think Odegaard is that good, but it's only if he can stay consistent and affect games all the time.
I think on that
There's
stage,
so many times
I
he's
think
drifted up.
if you watch him, he affects games.
I think
man.
on that staying in the game, I think you confuse just being in the game and having a lot of touches in the game. But you confuse that with like staying in the game and always being engaged and always doing something.
Not in my
if you're
opinion.
just keeping it simple, passing it, but actually
I
not
don't
leading
think he
your
does it.
team.
If you for me, when I'm watching Odegaard playing for Arsenal, like there's a lot of passes where he's creating dangerous attacks from
100%.
really
No,
good play. And he
of
makes
course.
a lot
But
of
that's-
chances
but
and
that's-
like creates.
But that's
and
not to
starts
say
a
he's
lot of
doing that
moves.
consistently throughout every 90 minutes.
I think he does.
But if
He definitely doesn't. He's
if he
gone
does-
missing in a few
yeah,
games.
he's gone
he
missing in key games.
He goes missing from time to time.
No,
but
no, no,
everybody
don't
does.
do that.
With
He's
this-
gone-
no. With
He's
social
gone missing
media,
in key games
people
for
always
Arsenal
overdo
to
it.
win the league. So don't do that. He's gone in those crunch times where you're looking for him as your star player. He's gone missing at times.
Bro,
and Saka
Arsenal
both
themselves
disappeared.
have not performed in games. It happens, bro.
Okay, but
I think
who's
if
that
anyone
because of?
does,
He's
no,
the talisman.
if
He's meant to be the talisman in that team.
And I think if anyone turns up, it's always him.
So what is the difference between him and Bruno? Because
I think Bruno turns up as well. Bruno's a good player, bro.
Can't we want a more all-round midfield performance from Bruno?
Yeah.
you can.
You can.
That's what
can.
I've always wanted from him, like to drop in deep and like more. I don't know, ball playing from deeper. Like, I know he wants to affect it higher up.
I don't want that
But
from him.
Odegaard's dropped deeper, and like for me, he's just more of a complete midfielder. Obviously, the systems are slightly different. But
Yeah,
100%.
I give you-
the volume. Like Odegaard gets the ball a lot, a lot more than Bruno does. So he's allowed to affect the game way more than you'd say Bruno is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bruno's a creative specimen. I hate this Bruno. I swear down, I hate it because I can't back him because my team is shit. But Bruno
He's
is a
player.
mad thing.
But I just feel like it's just like that. You see, like all the guys that got that ability, and the top midfielders for me, that ability in tight spaces to, you know, evade pressure and kind of just really be that
That's
kind of
what-
complete
that's-
ball.
that's what he has over Bruno.
Bruno doesn't really have that, and for me, that's why he
But-
sometimes struggles to really kind of pull Man United out of the reins. When they're down horrendous, which they are quite often. Which to be fair on Bruno,
does
it's a
it
bit
all the
He does
unfair.
it all the time,
He
bro.
does it
That's
all the
unfair.
time.
Yes, he does it all the time through like an amazing piece of play, like one moment, but he doesn't really I don't.
Because he doesn't get the ball. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
though.
what I mean. But that's what Bruno needs someone to give him the ball.
No, but he doesn't get the ball because United just don't get the
yeah,
ball
I
at
don't,
all.
I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, it's not necessarily his fault, but I feel like the best players are like the best players, they're able to do that.
I think the debate.
Like if you look at De Bruyne, right? Like I know if De Bruyne can get the ball, bro. Like he can get there and drive it
Fair.
because he's got that physicality and create chances.
I think the debate over them two, it ultimately comes down to what you value more in the game. And I think Odegaard obviously is a lot better than Bruno in those tight spaces. But at the end of the day, I in football value final actions the most, goals and assists. Goals
Okay.
especially. And Odegaard, obviously he had that 20-goal season, but if you look at Bruno and Odegaard, it's not really a debate.
No,
in
Bruno's
terms of that.
better at getting, yeah, definitely. That's why I think that the deeper position that he's now playing, it really helps him as well.
Hey man, ask your favourite footballer who his favourite footballer is. Ask De Bruyne who the best creative player is.
He
in the
said-
league. He'll
he
tell
said
you it's
Odegaard.
Bruno Fernandes.
I mean,
He'll tell you it's
sorry,
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes is a good player, bro. But anyway, any other PFA players of the seasons?
I've got an
That-
Odegaard as well.
outside of
I've got
Odegaard,
Odegaard.
since everyone's got Odegaard, and we
Yeah.
just discussed him.
I actually couldn't come up with one, you know.
Oh, okay.
I think the field is actually. I was trying to think about this for like an hour at home today, and it's just, you know, that video of that guy. Not much.
It's Haaland,
It's
isn't
not.
it?
Yeah, like literally, there's no. You see, back in when I was growing up, yeah, before the start of the season, there was like
There was exciting players, man.
there's 10 players that you knew the PFA is going to be between them, and it's just going to be about who balls out the most in the season. It's always good, you know. It's going to be Rooney, Ronaldo, Lampard, Gerrard,
Yeah.
Suarez.
But there's
Henry,
less special
one of them.
players now,
Exactly,
isn't there?
that's my
Yeah.
point. So I
well.
think it's hard to like everyone's kind of at the same level,
Yeah.
except for, and then you have Haaland and De Bruyne are like that level above, and then it's the rest of the league. So it'll come down to who ends up winning the league, really. And if City win, I think Rodri, they'll continue with this like Rodri Glazing
They
sesh.
need to
And,
calm down on
yeah,
that.
but they'll continue with it unless Haaland like scores 50 goals, and
Which he might.
he
though.
might, and scores in like Champions League.
I think
final.
Haaland's going to score a lot of goals next season because he had a bit of a slower one last year for his standards.
slow season.
Still got the golden boot.
He's
I think.
crazy,
By
you know.
the way, I think Haaland's going to get like.
That's
I think he's going to be
insane.
the first player to get like 3, 4, 5 golden boots in a row. I don't see anyone at the moment. No one is really built like him to score
It
goals
depends on how
in the
long he
league.
stays at City.
Yeah, word. But I think for as long as he stays at City, if he stays fit, I think he'll win the Ballon. I think not the Ballon d'Or. Sorry, I think he'll win the Golden Boot every year.
Yeah.
I do think he will get a Ballon d'Or eventually.
You think?
Yeah, I think Haaland will get a Ballon d'Or eventually. City will have
be
another.
fair, but they won't-
If Messi
when
didn't win
it
the
will.
World Cup, he gets it when City win the treble.
Yeah.
And I think City. Well, it depends if Pep stays actually, but. If Pep is there, they're gonna win in like another double or something in a year where there's not international competition because for some reason him and Odegaard can't do anything with Norway.
That's
an agenda, by the way.
We should have
But-
spoken.
but
And
Haaland, I
again,
think.
you think about what Bruno Fernandes does for Portugal.
Exactly.
On every
Exactly.
single time.
Portugal, man.
No, but come
No,
on.
but it's
not
Bruno
getting in-
Fernandes,
Not
though.
getting
It's not
into
just-
the competition.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
egregious.
And also, it's Bruno. Just watch Bruno in those
And
games.
exactly,
but
and you're
not-
talking
but
about
all of them.
you're talking about players
Bruno.
leading
Yeah,
their
yeah,
teams.
honestly,
You're talking about players
We're
leading
doing
their
a
teams.
PL roundup and it's just turned into a Crusoe glazing sesh, man. Take a breath, lads.
Yeah.
Take a breath. All right, club surprises.
Oh, I got a good one.
Max, you got a surprise for Liverpool?
Yeah.
you gave
Obviously, from my hot take, I think Harvey Elliott will do very well. But on a side note, Jarell Quansah, I think, will
yes,
take
I like this one.
Konate's spot. And
Oh, you think he's gonna take Konate's spot as well? I was. People were getting on to
I
me
don't
for
even
this.
think he's taking his spot. I think that is his spot right
Yeah,
now.
100%.
Start of the season, Quansah and Van Dijk.
Long may that continue. 'cause,
Yeah.
you know,
Why
you
do you
see-
think he should start over Quansah? I'm sorry, start over Konate. Sorry.
Because he had a better season last season, and Konate ended the season really, really badly. He didn't really play over the summer, so I really do like Konate. I do want to see him come back into the fold. But Klopp used to be, if that's your spot, it's yours. wait till you mess up or you get injured or whatever. And that's Quansah. Why should we drop him? I think I'm so excited for him. I think he's 19, 20.
Very good.
And he's got everything. I think you mentioned it on a video. Like, so impressive in this pre-season as well. Looks like, just an absolute unit. Being the England squad, I just think he'll have a really good season.
Yeah, I honestly think his talent package is proper top drawer, man. And he's really good on the ball. And I think that's what he has over Konate. Of course, Konate is an absolute beast defensively. But I think about Quansah's no slouch in that area. And then the capability that he has on the ball, I just don't think Konate can get anywhere near him. When you think about the fact that with the way Slot plays, it's really going to invite pressure because he really doesn't like to go long in comparison to Klopp. You just want someone with that, that level of capability on the ball. And that means for me, I think we got to go for Quansah. And I really do think he's that Van Dijk here, man. I genuinely think there's that level to him. Obviously, we don't know. He's still only like 20. I think he's actually 2021.
Don't make a statement like that and then run it back immediately.
No, he's got
stand on it.
I'm standing on the fact.
Stand on it.
I'm standing on the fact.
I just can't believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm standing on the fact. The talent is there. He's a superstar centre back, bro. He's a superstar.
I rate him highly. He assisted Bruno for one of the best goals of the season.
Oh yeah. Thanks for that.
His ball playing ability must be waiting.
Yeah. Funny one. Yeah, thanks for that, man.
I think what you said about his talent package is like he's got a bit of all of the best Liverpool centre backs of like the past 5 years. So he's got the ball capability and like dribbling of Matip coming out from the back. He's really good at that. 1v1 like recovery, like Van Dijk. Good in the air, like Van Dijk. And Konate, he's really good in wide spaces, getting out and using his pace and strength. So got a bit of everything there. And I think
he's a very good player.
I think he's a top player.
And this has turned into a Quansah glazing session, isn't it?
Oh, we just spent 20 minutes on Bruno.
Yeah, so don't even
that's
try
a
it.
player worthy. Do you know
I'll just quickly Liverpool again. Since we've got Liverpool and United, we won't do too much on our club stuff, but because we're meant to have a little bit of a wider audience, but a wider cast set. But I'll just say like Jones, I think is another one.
Curtis Jones.
Yeah, another academy product. Obviously we love it. I'm Scouse by heart, even though I live in London. But I just think Curtis Jones is really gonna come into his own this season. I know he's been one that we've kind of been waiting on, been appearing. I think he's like 23, 24 now. But I just think this style of play. I actually thought he had a really good last season. It was hampered by injuries, unfortunately, which is one thing that he does have to try and come over. But I think he's got the tool set to be a top midfielder. You think about the way this style of play suits him. I think he's got everything to have a really good season. You guys?
I've got two. I've got one I think will like kind of stake his name in terms of being a top class player. I think Ahmad will have like a truly breakout season.
He's in the league,
but I think he'll actually...
When you say a breakout season, tell
he
me
will
what.
make that position his own.
Yeah,
that,
but
that
I
right
think
wing is
what
his.
we've seen...
But what about the league?
What we've seen... I think what we've seen...
I want him gone.
What we've seen from like Garnacho, I think he'll surpass that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he could kind of like within this season,
Tell me what,
within next
double.
season. I don't know.
10.
I don't want to make a numbers prediction because United we could end up scoring 20 goals in the league last season. Yeah, but I think he'll be considered one of like the best young prospects, and he'll be considered one of the top right wingers in the league.
Okay,
definitely.
I think he's got genuinely. I think he's got everything. I watched him against Real Betis the other night, and my God, I think
unbelievable.
Obviously his dribbling package has always been quite good. Like from the comparisons like that I heard when we signed him, I genuinely didn't believe.
They were saying Mahrez, and
yeah,
I can see it now.
Like,
I didn't see it before.
But what I was worried about him was two things. I think one, the physical side of the game, but he's actually really good in duels. And two, what's like what I've noticed and why I think he'll go on to superstardom. Bro, like his ball striking is elite.
It's elite
like
still.
as a finisher, he is like both footed, but cutting side from the right, cutting left,
It's
and
good,
just
it's
finish.
finishing.
Like
why
nasty.
did it take Ten Hag so long to play him?
Because
So-
Ten Hag doesn't.
I think it's a couple of things.
It's
but
trust. He doesn't really bed young players in. Like he's very stubborn.
He consistently played Anthony over him, and as soon
Well,
as
there
he
you
played,
go.
I think it's when managers always know. Everybody always knows the patterns. Like you're watching these people training every day. he's playing Anthony consistently to try and get him into form. You're not going to play Ahmad because as soon as we see what Ahmad can do, you can't then go back to Anthony. And now it looks like you've wasted 70 or however much.
Oh, so you think he just didn't want to?
He didn't want to. The reason why
crazy.
I think is because they're the back end of last season and what I've seen in pre-season, he's unbelievable. And you spoke about his striking ability, Raf, his ball striking ability. What I like more about Ahmad is he's not a shoot first player. He's trying to create.
Yeah.
So his first action is to create. So if he's creating for our striker, which is what I want our striker to get goals. I want our wingers to be able to create for our striker. That's already a tick for me. Aesthetically, he's good on the ball. Great. He's beefed up as well now, which means that he's not getting manhandled in duels. He's winning penalties. Like he's very, very good, and his IQ is quite high.
Say less.
If he, I don't even know in terms of his progression.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah,
the sky is genuinely the limit.
Watching him has rattled me this preseason, and for the games that he played
It's like,
last
why
year.
were we suffering for so long?
Even we could talk about the subtleties in his game. The game we played against Liverpool, where he scored the winner, there was a small action that he did. So Garnacho's pass to him was shit. Garnacho passed it to him with the intention of getting the ball back. You could see him calling for the ball back immediately, right? Garnacho passed the ball to him in a shit way. I can't remember who the fullback was. Bradley. He's a good fullback as well. He's chasing him back. Ahmad does a slight jink on his shoulder, and he moves the ball to the left. It's so subtle, but that gives him enough space to get the shot off.
I don't want to say
it gives him enough space to get him the shot off into the court. He's honestly unbelievable. I can't wait to see what he does.
I don't want them to call me. I don't want everyone to get at me. I don't want everyone to get at me.
You'll see it this year.
And I don't want to make this like a quality comparison, but in terms of mechanics of the dribbling, is Messi-esque.
Oh my! Oh my God!
Hey! No, I'm saying the biomechanics of it. How he does it.
Oh my God! No, take your mic away, man.
How he does it.
Get this guy,
bro.
No, man.
Yo.
Get on my podcast. Get on my podcast.
When you're editing this,
I'm gonna.
When you're editing
zoom
this,
in.
Go back to that goal. You're gonna see what I've seen.
You're gonna see what I've seen.
There's a small subtlety that he does.
I saw it. Yeah,
he's a very good player.
But that was whack.
No, that's outrageous. I'm not backing it.
I'm just saying in terms of the how he does it.
Anyway, enough United. You know, you guys.
Do you know what it is? Because he beat. It's the low center of gravity, and he beats them off the body feints.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Enough United. You know, you guys go on for 20 minutes about United every time.
Bro.
Anyway, let's
at
go.
At least we get a chance.
Let's
agree. Jalen and them, man.
Okay. Fairs. Let's agree together on surprises and flops of the season, then we'll go back and do our own clubs one, because I feel like, well, because of the United boys, we've gone into our clubs a fair bit, and we've got other fans watching. So, together, who are we thinking in terms of surprises for the season?
Is this players or clubs?
Clubs.
We can go for either. Whatever we think is a bigger shout.
So,
in terms of clubs, obviously, I think we've done a bit on that, because mine was like Villa 4th. Someone had Villa 3rd. I don't know if there's any other big shouts.
Mine was Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth, I think, will do well.
Oh, okay, fair. So you kind of did that in your Rondo. So maybe we kind of focus it more on players. So if I'm looking at players, I'm thinking Jackson's one for me. I think he could surprise, honestly. I think if he only just gets a little bit of finishing, he's one that I think could have a really good season. So that's one that I'll put out there. Who was my other one? I'm just trying to remember. I've forgotten.
Mine is Nunes.
You think it's a surprise?
I haven't given. Yeah, so Nunes, and even though
that's interesting,
it's very.
I'm not seeing nothing.
I know. It's very difficult to sort of back Nunes, but that guy doesn't stop. He'll do the same creative action over and over again until he scores. And to me personally, that's a massive plus. I look at what Vinicius Junior was a few years ago in terms of how raw he was in his ability. But you keep doing the same things over and over again. And if you keep doing the same things over and over again, eventually you're going to come good. He's become a bit more consistent. I feel like if Nunes keeps on getting these chances, he eventually is going to come good and he's going to explode. He'll score a crazy amount of goals.
I like the fact that you're convinced, because I'm not.
I agreed. Last season, I thought the same thing. And I think there is a reality where he can actually kick on and become the player
that he's
meant to be, because he does genuinely have all of the traits that you'd want for like a striker. But like some of the ways like when he first came in, some of the ways I've seen him like contort his body to get on to like the end of a cross.
It's
not normal.
It's crazy.
It's
like,
not normal.
I can't like. I looked
His
at
striker
it, and I
instincts
know
is
everyone
very
laughed at the
good.
comparisons at the time, but I looked. It was very like Haaland-esque. But obviously his brain just doesn't work. there's something there, innit?
But I mean, I may as well say it now. He's actually my flop of the season from a club
yeah, I don't know.
perspective.
I don't know if it happens for him at Liverpool.
I don't think Slot is going to take to him.
So who do you think is going to play Jota?
I think he's probably going to play Jota as a striker. He's going to watch Nunes in tight spaces and stuff like that, and he's going to be like, goodness gracious me, especially since that his striker has to drop in a little bit and like kind of rotate in the 4-2-4 formation that he has. So he's going to be picking the ball up in pockets. He's not going to really be able to like stay on the last one unless he could change it. You could change it for him, but if he kind of sticks it with that, I think Nunes doing that is
Apparently for Uruguay, Bielsa has him literally solely focusing on that. I think a lot of his goals in the Copa America are literally like one touch. Like that's Nunes for me. I don't want anything else. Just shoot. Like use your movement and head it.
And you want to play him the same as Haaland.
And his finishing isn't the best.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll do that and he'll miss. He'll get a lot of chances.
He'll get a lot of chances.
And again, though, it's the volume of chances he's getting. If he wasn't getting these chances, I'd be more concerned. He keeps doing the same thing. Eventually,
But the thing is,
it's going to come good.
When you say his finishing is bad, I can't even bring myself to say that because like the way he hits the ball,
it's mad.
It's scary.
Yeah,
It's so scary.
It's good.
It's good.
It's like something. It's like the brain-body connection.
He
It's like,
chooses the wrong shot
Yeah.
every time, which is actually quite admirable for a professional footballer. He is. Against Everton, do you guys remember the chance against Everton? He was 12 yards out. He was about 12 yards out, right? He has to go in and he goes for laces and he hits it as hard as he can.
No, he's tapped.
He could have just passed it.
He's tapped. There was a goal that he scored a chip. He didn't have to.
Brentford, yeah.
He didn't have to. He wanted to do that.
that's what I'm saying. I think it's
Even that was like, the
it's
finish was crazy, but I
confidence,
remember
innit?
Owen made the comment on it and got cooked, but I was like,
Why would you do
afterwards,
that
I
as a
got
striker?
it. I was even thinking, oh, Owen, shut up. But really, when I remember replaying, I saw the video come on the tail again, probably should have just slotted it.
Who in their right mind is running for own goal and
Running that fast.
but
Running that fast. The
Running
keeper
at that
was
speed.
was
The
stood
keeper
up.
was like that.
speed-
all he had to
the
do
speed
was
him.
wait
The chip was
inside
crazy. You know, it was a crazy
It was a
finish.
mad. No, but you almost missed. Like, it's not,
bro, I've seen worse players try that in the Champions League final and miss. Like players do that.
But that was when Nunes was literally at his most confident. I think the United game, the FA Cup game, when he gave that goal away, Rashford scores to
That took him-
equalise.
that took him away.
That his season was done.
Yeah, he's a huge confidence.
Because
player.
after that, how many chances did he miss?
Oh.
He tapped out like.
And like you can see it on his face, he's a confidence player as well.
Anyway, enough about Nunes, man. I don't want to see anything. Back to the surprise of the season. Who are we saying? Anyone got any other takers? Or are we going to end with...
I'll just go with Oscar Bob because
I like him.
Seeing him in pre-season,
Yeah.
man.
No, you know what? I think
really
that's a
like
shout.
him.
I think
really
Oscar
like
Bob
him.
is a good shout. I think he's going to have a breakthrough season. You got anyone?
No, I think if the Arsenal fans were here, they'd want us to say,
Ethan Waneri.
yeah.
I don't think he's going to play enough. I do think he's a really good player,
he's
though.
very, very good.
I think
just
I can see a reality. I can see him getting some minutes because I think preseason Arteta's kind of relied on him a lot, and I think the skill set he has, Arsenal don't have that in their midfield.
Yeah, like a delicate
Yeah, I think.
little 8.
Yeah, I think it's one of them ones where if Marino doesn't kick
alongside
on,
Odegaard.
if that Marino and Rice partnership doesn't kick on in the
He's going to
way,
be knocking at the door.
that they intend, and I don't think it will. He'll be knocking at the door.
I don't think he'll get... I just feel like Arsenal's side's too good, and I don't know if Teta will trust him. I think he'll play like a lot of EFL, a lot of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I just don't see him really having... Like, I think Oscar Bob now... I think Oscar Bob's even...
He's
like
on
21.
the he's
Yeah. He's 21, you know. I
didn't know that.
Yeah. This is the thing when you're a youngster coming through at City. Oscar Bob's been sick for a long time. Just doesn't...
can't get into
They
the
keep
squad.
them
Can't get into the
Yeah,
squad.
yeah.
It's the same thing with Foden. Like it's kind of a bit of a catch-22 because you get sort of like molded into the team slowly, but then not getting enough minutes can almost cost you as well, which is very different to like say United who aren't like quite good and they get like
How did
they
we
sometimes
catch
they
that
kind of get into the spotlight a bit too much. No, but it's true. Like
No, you're right,
I think it's just like
you're
the perfect comparison. Like I think that's even the reason why Chido Obi Martin has chosen you because.
There's a like
Yeah, you can get minutes.
100%.
get
United
minutes,
is a
right?
clear
He'll get
pathway.
minutes.
All right,
He'll get
cool.
minutes.
Flop of the season. Are we?
Oh, I've
anyone
got
that we
Bears.
agree with?
Timo player.
I've got Bears.
For me, club, Spurs.
Oh, okay. Where do you
And-
think?
and
Where did you
also-
say they were going to finish?
I think they'll finish maybe 8th.
Oh shit!
But what the reason I say this,
He puts the shades on.
the reason I say this is I think obviously they've got a higher volume of games this season is the first thing. So their squad is going to be stretched more thin initially. But also I think the style of play is unsustainable.
Okay.
Similarly to Bielsa, people used to say, oh, Leeds play great football, sick football, relegation. Like 2 years down the line, relegation.
Okay.
And this was free-flowing, open football. They were attacking. Leeds used to attack with all 11 players man to man. That is how they're playing.
absolute
Postecoglou,
wildest football I've
it's
seen in my
it's
life.
crazy, but I used to enjoy those games. However, if I'm a fan or if I'm supporting that, there's no control. There's no
Yeah.
You're basically watching carnage for 90 minutes. And all the Tottenham fans that I speak to as well, they sometimes there's been games where they've been 1-0 up 85th minute. Why the fuck are you attacking with 11 players up the one side of the pitch?
They're naive team.
Postecoglou doesn't stop attacking.
And I find that mental. Like, I'm all for having a style of play and sticking to that style of play. However, you should be adaptable in games. You should be able to understand that it's 1-0. This is the game state now, and we want these 3 points. Stop playing that style of play. Somebody's going to catch you out. And I feel like a lot of the teams this season are going to catch out Spurs in terms of that high line.
I'm not sure.
I think it'll be very easy to
I hear
to
your
score,
argument.
to
You
score
made a
goals
good
against
argument,
Spurs.
but I do think, like, when you think about the ideas that Postecoglou implemented, like, they are very good when they're on game.
Yeah.
They're very, like, as in, you know, when you kind of do that, for instance, use the example of Bielsa, they're not really that.
I
Obviously,
think
he
Leeds
hasn't
were
got
good
as
when they
compared-
were on game though. Leeds used to be really.
But
when Leeds
they
were on
they
it,
just don't have
Yeah,
good
but
enough
Spurs-
players
exactly.
to ever be anywhere near where they need to
top,
be.
yeah.
Where Spurs have good players,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like and when they're good, they are on top of you. Like they can really
Like their
get-
attack on their day is up there with the best.
It's
in the
up
league.
there, man.
Not necessarily player for player, but in terms of how it's all put
how
together.
it's all put together.
Yeah.
They're nice, man.
So the game that concerned me the most, and which is what I've based this off, obviously there was a few more, it was when they played Chelsea.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never seen anything like that before in my life.
I still don't know if I rate that or if
I
I
don't
don't.
rate it.
Like,
I can't rate it.
still
I
don't
don't
know.
rate it.
I don't rate it at all.
I
I
think
men
that's
on the
crazy.
halfway line.
I think that's crazy.
That was whack.
Nah, that was.
And you had like Carragher and Neville glazing it. I was like,
don't
what are you
know.
talking about, man? Just because he's an Aussie lad, he's a good lad.
But do you know what?
That was
Like, for
whack,
5 minutes, for 5 minutes, it kind of nearly worked.
They nearly got that was bad. This is the equaliser.
That's what I'm saying.
Son had that huge chance.
Yeah,
I can't
like,
like,
if they-
no, but it's suicide though. Bro, Klopp.
But that's what I'm saying. But come on, like they were gonna get touched anyway.
No, but bro, Klopp is
find
like
it
one of the
crazy.
most like no matter what happens, Klopp is always like, we're going toe to toe. We went to 9 men, bro. He was defending the box against
That was
Spurs.
one of the
No, I
best
hear it.
defensive performances.
Yeah, and there's an
I've
amazing-
seen in
and
my
And
life.
again,
So it's-
game state, good managers.
Yeah.
You understand the game state and you adapt accordingly.
But listen-
not doing that is crazy.
But
to me.
listen, the season before, Southampton went down to 9 men against United. They defended and they got 9 goals put past them. So I hear it. I hear that you might as well go out.
No,
How
swinging.
many
got
goals
9.
would they have scored if they'd gone toe to toe with us? How many
9.
goals would we have scored? 18.
But that's what how do you know? But
No, not with 9 players, bro. I can't. But any other takers? That was a good one.
flop of the season. Yeah. I've got one for my club. I've got one for your club as well.
Sure.
And further to that, they're actually both Dutch. Well, actually, I believe one of them is Dutch. Is Xerxes Dutch?
Yeah.
He's Dutch. Yeah.
Boom,
Oh, you
boom.
think Xerxes is gonna
Yeah, that's my flop of the season. And
Oh, okay, interesting.
I think for Gapco, it's similar reasons. I don't think Gapco is a flop of the season because my opinion of him is already entrenched.
all right.
Do you not rate? You don't rate him?
It's not
Alright,
that I don't.
go on,
It's not that I
Gakpo
don't
then.
rate him. I think he's he's got good qualities and he's a nice player. But the problem for him, and it'll be the exact same problem for Xerxes, and it's kind of a similar problem that Sancho has at United, is that I don't think either of them, from what I've seen, are kind of fast enough or good enough 1v1 to play out wide or where
Okay.
you'd want them to, and they're not prolific enough to play up top. And that's kind of a death sentence in the Premier League.
And then they're not really creative enough to play in
Yeah,
the middle.
there's just nowhere for them to fit. They're just not of this quality. They're not of this level. More.
I wouldn't say, for me actually, when I look at those 3 players, I'm not sure if they're not of this quality. I just don't know if they're suited to the league.
Well, yeah, but
We don't know with
But
one of them
exact-
yet. Let's wait for Xerxes. Let's wait and see what he can do. But I understand what you're saying. Though.
But
The
just
sentiment makes
it's not
sense.
even with him because I can't say I've seen him much. But just in terms of what I have seen, what I've read, just in terms of his profile alone, it worries me because he's meant to be one.
Am I a
of,
winger? Am I a striker?
yeah, already it's like is his position? Oh, he plays false 9, but he also plays left wing. He also plays number 10. That's worrying. From what I've seen, he's not already. It's not like in the Dutch league where he's rated as like this super fast pacey winger. So already I know he's kind of average, and he's
You know
average.
he came from the Italian league, right?
Sorry, yeah, but just in terms of
Okay, just
came from
making-
Bologna.
Okay,
But,
just making sure. Okay, good.
that's
okay,
that's
great.
what I got family from there, so.
Oh, so.
Just in terms of, but that's what I mean. These Dutch players, they're not that fast. The Italian
Raffaella.
league, the Italian league is not that fast.
No, it's not.
So yeah, I just don't think he has it there. And then, his in front of goal, he seems a bit.
Bit shaky.
Unserious.
Seems technically very smooth though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like similar to Sancho, similar to Gakpo.
He seems super smooth.
So they'll
from the highlights.
So from what I feel, like they'll
like
have
even
times.
like in terms of like Sancho and Gakpo, he like a little bit above them in terms of the ability to
So that's
really
what I'm saying.
just
So
beat a man in the middle of the park. Like he's very.
But like both
I
of
don't
them,
know.
they have games that suit them, and like they look like, oh, I can see why we spent £70 million for Sancho, why you guys spent however much you did for
That's
Gakpo.
40 million.
But then there's times, most times it's just like you just don't have enough to play at this level.
Those players are situational.
Yeah,
I'd
they're
say.
really. I just
There'll be games that are suited to them, and then there's games that are they will go
Exactly.
horribly wrong. But
And-
Gakpo, I think you've been harsh on. I think if Gakpo plays in his actual position,
I think
put that guy on the wing where he should be playing, he will do. What I think
no.
there's a
I
chance.
think
I think
out
there's
of
a
the
chance.
three, Gakpo's the best out of
Yeah,
those
he's
three
probably
players.
he's probably the best out of the three of them.
But I just thought he's not fast enough.
I think he's got a
to play
chance
1v1.
though. But I'll just like to see it. I don't know if he's a for sure. Like
I just don't see
if
it
he's for
with
sure
Gakpo.
going to make it, but I think slots football as well suits him a bit more. It'd be interesting to see if he plays left wing.
Needs
What he
consistent
can do.
game
I think he
plan
needs the
there, yeah.
consistency, right?
It's a shame 'cause I
Klopp's
think-
played him F9, 8, left wing.
When he was playing
But I
with
think
eight,
when that
couldn't believe it.
happens, when that happens,
And he was anonymous.
that means like the
anonymous,
manager
he didn't play
can't
well.
really find his best position, and that's a worrying sign, especially with someone like Klopp who tends to be quite secure and certain in terms of how he profiles players. Like once he's bought a player and identified him and profiled him, he doesn't really change where
True,
they play in
true,
that.
yeah.
So the fact that Gakpo
He normally changes guys that he doesn't like.
Yeah, so the fact that
But
Gakpo's
does
been
he suit-
shifted
does
out,
he suit his play though? Because we know the type of attackers that Klopp likes.
but that,
But anyway, I just last one. I forgot to say like a surprise of the season for me. It was Savino. Is that how you say his name?
I don't know.
Savio, isn't it?
Savio.
I don't even know.
Savino. Anyway, the guy that City have fraudulently bought from Girona. They had the player already, and then they bought him for quite a good price for such a talent. You wonder what's going on there. I don't even know the
116.
Yeah.
Hold on, but your team were about to do it as well.
Yeah,
Add
right.
one.
Add one, bro. Add another charge. But anyway, I really like him, man. I caught a couple of his games in La Liga because he's playing for like Girona. So like, I watched like their game against like Madrid and stuff. And he's just a top talent. Like he's just kind of got everything. He can beat a player as well. So I think that'll be good as well because we don't have a lot of wingers these days that are exciting in the Premier League. I think he's definitely going to be one. Obviously, kind of attackers under Pep, they normally take a season, but I think he's definitely one to watch. I think he'll be real nice, and I think he's going to get a lot of minutes as well. I think Pep is quite excited about him. So yeah, I think he's going to be a real top talent. Watch out for him. But yeah, that's kind of everything. Unless anyone has any surprises or flops to sort of finish.
Anything else?
All right, latest in football just to finish for about 15 minutes before we call it a day. So we've had a lot of transfers, a lot of like just kind of latest news in football. One to talk about that I wanted to bring to the cast was basically Chelsea's current treatment of their academy players.
Ridiculous.
So at
Is
the
it though?
at the moment,
serious.
you know, so we had this. They had the situation with Chalobah where they've left him
They've left him home.
off the preseason tour because they want to get rid of him. You know, Chelsea have spent millions on random South American teenagers and now need to get some of their academy players sold for the pure profit in terms of PSR. And the latest to date is Conor Gallagher. So I'll just kind of give a little bit of an overview before we go into analysis on it. So Chelsea have basically agreed a deal with Atletico for 40 million euros for Conor Gallagher to be sold. Conor Gallagher's contract runs out next season. They basically kind of offered him like a bit of a disrespect contract. Like they've offered him a 2+1 deal.
The same thing they did with Mason Mount.
Where they said like, listen, like we want to sell you and we're not going to give you like a 4 or 5 year contract. So it's just basically a contract so that we have security
So they
to
can
sell you.
Sell you later.
And Conor Gallagher doesn't want to take it. And they basically have released to all the big journalists that we don't want him. That's basically what they said. They've kind of released that they don't think he suits the new style of play. And it's clearly been leaked, by the way, by Chelsea because it's literally the tweets came out in a barrage.
Yeah.
All within about 10 minutes of each other from the Fabrizios, the Ornsteins, even like lower guys. So what do we think about it?
It's terrible, man. I think I get kind of why they do it because they do invest a lot of money in their academy players and they do pay them very, very well. They're probably the most handsomely paid academy players in the world. So I can see why when then it comes down to it, they're just very nonchalant and just are like, we don't really owe you anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just doesn't make sense from like a business perspective because the way I look at it, they've spent £1 billion on their squad, but
been no improvement.
they're in no better position than if they had just let everyone from the academy graduate and enter the squad.
and then just actually bought some top quality players for the first 11.
So it makes no sense what they're doing. At the end of the day, it's the same thing they really were doing with the academy under Abramovich, when they really didn't care about it. So it's not really anything out of the norm for Chelsea. And if they were run properly, it's not something that would be to their detriment as a football team. But they're not run properly. And since Jose Mourinho came back, all I've heard from Chelsea and Chelsea fans is that they want to become that team that integrates their academy players. They don't want to be the spend team as much as they're meant to be. And I'm pretty sure that kind of was Boli's whole thing as well. He wanted to integrate the academy. So it just reeks of incompetent leadership, really. And speaks to why I don't think Chelsea will be a serious proposition.
What about you,
for
Max?
a few
You
years.
want to come in there?
Chelsea make my blood boil. Like, I hate Chelsea. But like, everyone loves seeing homegrown talents come through. Like, football's a dirty sport, but that's one of the purest things that we can see. A young homegrown player come through, make it to the first team. And they're not just selling them; they're treating them like pure and utter shit, and it's unfair. Like, I'd get it if you're replacing Conor Gallagher, who I don't rate that much at all, with like a definitive, really good player, an upgrade. But they're replacing him with guys like Ogachukwu and guys like this. Like,
Caicedo.
Well, yeah,
Caicedo's a bit better.
No,
But
Caicedo is a bit better, but it's not. The difference isn't enough for it to warrant you treating your academy player like this.
But I even feel like
buying a
Caicedo
player
makes
like
more
this.
sense because of his ceiling. But bro, like in terms of Gallagher being like probably a squad player for them now, bro, they've got these random squad
I
players
don't
that
know who they are.
you don't know their
Like,
names, bro. They've got random. Like,
They signed some kids
they've got
the
like
other day.
90 million on midfielders on the bench there, and that's the reason why they have to sell Gallagher. That's why for me, I'm like, it makes no
That's-
sense, and that's
yeah,
what I think Max is getting at there. Like there's genuinely random guys that you don't even know that they've just bought for 30 million for no reason.
I'll tell you, my issue with Chelsea is similarly to Max. I don't despise them as well. That was real.
No,
hate. That was
I've
real
got
hate.
hatred.
Yeah, that was real hate. But Chelsea are they're only complaining now. When Chelsea were winning consistently, when Chelsea were always winning, they're winning Champions Leagues, they're getting far in these competitions, they're winning Premier Leagues. We heard no complaints about them selling or treating their academy players like shit. Chelsea have consistently for the last 20 years had the most academy products in the Premier League across the Premier League.
Yeah.
Every single team has Chelsea academy players in it.
Yeah.
It's mental. If you go through Crystal Palace, if you go through
And even in the championship, it's
in the
crazy
championship,
as well.
like Chelsea's academy Chelsea are set up like a well-run business.
Yeah.
They are a well-run, oiled business. All those players are business and monetary aspects for the club.
Yeah.
Why are they complaining now?
Because
is my issue.
I think that the reason why they're complaining now, it makes sense because they're being dumb now. But
It's
like
'cause they're
before, they were selling their academy products and not really caring a lot for them, but they were buying elite players coming into the first team. So there was a lot of pressure to win as well. That's why managers didn't want to really play them because they're like, I want to keep my job because Abramovich will sack me. But now they're buying like the same academy products just from South America, which
Literally.
maybe puts a premium on them or whatever. I don't even know what the
It
plan is
doesn't because there's English tax.
literally, I look at all of these players that they're now getting. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to
Sell them
on.
on.
Sell them
They're
on.
all on 8-year deals.
Yeah.
It's a very confusing.
So
model.
they're doing that
It
now.
screams of incompetence.
I
Yeah,
don't know
and it's
what they're
like
doing.
now you're having to push your academy players for players that they're better than. You know what I mean? Like Chalobah's is another one that gets pushed out. I look at like some of the random guys that they've got as well. Like, who's that?
Disasi is
Disasi.
shit.
Like rubbish.
Disasi.
Chalobah's better than Disasi.
That's what I'm
Chalobah
saying.
is better than most of the
Of their
centre backs at
centre
Chelsea
backs,
right
like,
Badia Shield.
now.
Like,
He's definitely
Like, it
better
makes
than
And
no
it's like,
sense
I
to
wouldn't
me.
even like Chalobah and Gallagher. Are they? If you're thinking about where Chelsea want to be and where Chelsea like sort of should be with the money that they invest and the recent history they've had, they're probably not good enough. But it's just like off what's happening. Like what Max said, it's annoying because it's like it doesn't make sense. Do you know what I
it
mean?
shouldn't annoy me, but it really does.
Yeah.
Like, why?
As a player, I'll be real. You should know what the game is with Chelsea by now. If you're an academy player at Chelsea, think very, very carefully about signing
next
that
steps.
pro contract.
Yep.
Like, I understand it from the perspective of those 16-year-olds. Like, look, they're putting £30,000 a week or whatever it is in front of you. I think that's how much they're claiming.
They're buying your margin gap.
Yeah,
They
but
take you out of ends.
do you know what I mean?
You're gonna take
And
the
then
very-
there's
I'll be real. You're taking the
word.
piece.
And like you rate yourself as a 16-year-old player, probably like everyone remembers what they were like at 16. Is like ego is here, right? So you probably think to yourself, I'll make it. These men are shit. Like, no sweat. But you've literally watched everyone get burned. Like you've watched someone like Mason Mount, who's literally won that club a Champions League.
That guy is Chelsea.
Do you know what I mean?
It's insane.
That's proper Chelsea, innit?
He's proper Chelsea.
And you've watched him get burned. If you play with fire, you get burned, innit?
Just to move on, because there's a couple more topics I want to speak on. Endrick had his first preseason game. There's a comp going around on Twitter, which is not very flattering. No. I felt like he was looking tired. Obviously, he's only 18 years of age. It seemed pretty harsh for them to be straight on.
He's dealing with that girlfriend of his, no?
What's our thoughts on that? Do we think?
I think he will not be what people think he is.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I've seen enough. He's got talent. Whether or not he exacts that potential that's completely up in the air.
He's very young though.
He is very young, but he's not better than Rashford when he was 18. When Rashford was 18, he's not.
Is he 18?
No, I'm saying when Rashford was 18, he just burst onto the scene. Endrick's not better than Rashford when they were the same age. Yeah. Why is Endrick getting this level of PR and?
Because he talks too damn much.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm coming on my opinion already.
And that's where my issue. That's where my issue lies, though. So,
I was dreaming about George Best and Pele last night. He always chatting shit.
And his black and white photos.
Yeah,
shorts up to here. I can't be arsed.
I want him to do well. I want him to do well. I don't know if he will.
Yeah, I hope the kid does well, but I do think he did need a little bit of a humbling because he just came. I feel like he already thinks he's like a crazy star and he's buying into it a bit too much. You've got a lot to prove, bro.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to prove. So that for me is
I know this kind of used to be like a Graham Souness style, like old grumpy man talking point with the whole like youth players getting big contracts and losing the hunger for the game. And I think a lot of the time back then we just kind of looked at it as like, oh, you guys are just jealous. They're fine. But I think there is like a real like prospect of that these days. I think you see so many like academy kids just come and they get that big money, and it's just like they really do lose the hunger. And it's not even, it happens relatively across the scale. Even like the top players, not necessarily they fall off, but I don't know, like even with certain United players, they got big contracts and kind of stop playing as well.
Fall off straight away. That's the thing, because like,
so I'm saying you see someone like Sancho, and I don't want to comment on why he's not playing so well, but like there's only, you can only look at correlations, and you see like he gets that big money move, he's on 300 grand a week, and it's like he loses vim for the game.
It's tough, man, because
I'll be real,
how old was Sancho when that first 300,000 drop? Was 20 years old?
If you gave me 300 grand
at 20,
at the age, not even 300 grand once, 300 grand a week.
Every 7 days he's getting 300 bags. Every 7 days.
Do not ask me to concentrate on football.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is before you might have settled down and got a good girlfriend.
Hold on. At 21, if you give that to me now, don't ask me to concentrate on football. Forget 21.
What can you concentrate on? 300,000.
Yeah, but that's what separates like
the elite.
The elite. Yeah.
Like, they will stay motivated no matter what money they're getting. Like,
but I do think like
but
the
it's
environment
harder to motivate kids when you're giving
the
them
environment, because
so much.
You notice at the best clubs in the Premier League, at least, like they try and give them that real big contract at like 25, 26. You know, like Liverpool, City, Arsenal. As much as they can, they hold off. Because when you're like 20, when you're in your early 20s, you're still
like
your boys are going out.
You're impressionable.
Yeah, you're very impressionable. Not everybody's got their career sorted out. Like you've got a lot of free time.
Like I didn't go to a great school, but I went to school with someone that ended up becoming a Premier League footballer, and like you could see the change in him from when he signed his first pro contract, and like you kind of saw like the attitude and kind of what it led to, and that's like 10 years ago now, and we would have been talking like $5,000 a week type, maybe at most. And like now you're looking at players getting 20, 30 grand a week, and they're 16.
You just signed that 16-year-old for 30k.
That's what apparently that might not be as.
It's like,
but
it's like, imagine like
our wage structure is so fucked. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but it's a lot though. I've heard it's a lot though, but it might not be the 30
imagine you're 16,
grand.
yeah, and you're earning more than the coaches that are meant to be your authority. Like, what can you tell me?
He's on 5 figures a week though.
What can you tell me?
I'd look at my managers or my coach and say,
sideways.
You can't tell me shit,
bro.
I am
his teachers.
Imagine that.
Mad.
Like, especially
he earns more. Like you're earning like what they earn in a year in a week.
He said that to the teachers. The one that went to my school.
Oh.
He said that. He said, I earn more than you. What can you tell me? That's
mad.
the facts.
That's mad.
And they all turned around and said, you know what? Yeah.
How can there's no rebuttal, bro?
There's no
rebuttal.
Yes. Did you sign his Premier League contract when he was at?
Yeah. I'll tell you who it is after.
I know who it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't. I want to know.
Fair enough. Any others in the world of football? You guys have made me forget kind of going into all of that. West Ham.
I was going to speak on West
Oh,
Ham.
yeah.
I'm liking their
you
signings.
go ahead,
That's
you go
some
ahead.
good business.
I'm liking their signings. Actually, they've managed to keep, by the looks of it, Kudos and Jared Bowen, which is huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, Paqueta. How long is Paqueta's ban?
No, I don't think
It
about it.
hasn't been finalised.
Oh, it hasn't been finalised.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
He will be banned for life.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it goes through.
That's mental.
I think it'll be at least a year.
So
He's
forget.
a
No, I
player,
think he's.
though, man.
Bro, I
he's
don't think
quality.
he'll play in
He's-
Europe
he's-
again.
Oh, again, yeah.
Yeah, if he's like fully charged, they're trying to obviously fight. But if he's fully charged, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not playing for like literally for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, forget about Paqueta then. But the other signings, they've signed Somerville from Leeds. He's a very good player.
Very good.
Probably the best player in the Championship last season.
Wasn't he? Who was Championship player of the season? Was it not him?
I think it was him.
It was him.
I
Yeah,
think it was
he's very good.
And there's links to Fulkrug
Yeah.
and Wan-Bissaka as well.
Yeah.
So I think they could all be good signings, but I think it's a bit hit and miss. Like I could see it really working for Lopetegui, and they could potentially push like top 8, top 6. But I could see it also going very bad, and they have to go back to like a Moyes style appointment.
You think maybe it's just too many profiles?
Yeah, I don't know.
Every time West Ham have tried to do
always
it,
falls
yeah.
back.
But I think it's more the style of play because they've signed all these players and they're still playing quite a pragmatic style of play, which is not getting the best
Whereas
out of them.
now-
I feel like with Lopetegui, it might go the right way because when you look at it, because Paqueta still will play at least the first few months of the season.
Oh, will he?
Like, he will, yeah. I don't think it's going to go through before then. They're pretty damn stacked. I did a TikTok on it earlier today. Like, they're like midfield 5 is like Paqueta, Alvarez, who's
He's
a
very
solid
good. He's
DM.
robust.
They got
Ward-Prowse.
Kudus, Cam, Bowen. Yeah, Ward-Prowse is another option.
Suchet.
Bowen right wing, left wing, Somerville, up top, Fulcrum. Bro,
That's decent.
that's a proper Europa League level team, bro. Like firm.
That's a heritage.
Yeah, that's a
heritage side.
firm Europa League
What
level
about their
team.
defence though? I'm not sure.
Even in
about their
defence, they got Zuma. Zuma's
cat-
still
the
there.
cat kicker's
They
good.
got Kilman.
Kilman,
They bought Kilman earlier in the
that's-
window.
yeah.
Wan-Bissaka
Really?
right
Yeah,
back, and then they got
46,
Emerson left back. Bro, they're solid.
Yeah, that's solid.
Bro, they're solid.
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka links.
It's
What
looking,
happened to the? Oh,
Nah,
I was gonna say,
it's not. It's not.
but it's looking like it's going to happen.
I don't want it to
If we
happen.
get the right back from Bayern, I don't want it to happen.
I
either.
think that's
What-
ridiculous.
Right, really?
Mazwari.
Oh yeah.
Why are you still connected to Wan-Bissaka?
Why not?
He is a weapon. Use him against certain. Like he's a situational player again.
Facts.
He's very situational. I wouldn't start him every game. In teams where you need to look what he did to your boy. He made him irrelevant for 90 minutes.
Who's that?
Bro, every time you come to face us, Salah goes to play left wing.
back. Salah got like he couldn't do a thing against him for the whole night.
Bro, Salah goes to play on the left every time.
He moves away from him. And it's
never
not just
seen
him.
Salah go
It's
and play.
every single
Don't
player.
lie. Do
What
not lie
game
to
was
yourself.
that? FA Cup.
The FA Cup game. So
He scored that game.
He did score when he moved. When did he score? When he moved away from Wan-Bissaka, and he was in the box by himself. Other than that, he had absolutely nothing.
My favorite was every
feel
time
like-
he faced
I don't
City,
feel like
and
Salah-
Sterling would
And
go
every
running
time he
away.
faced City, Sterling would run away from him.
Listen, Wan-Bissaka does has use, but I don't know why United fans are so connected to him. At the end of the day, he's never really been.
But why sell him for
Been good enough.
Why sell him for £15 million to buy a right back from Bayern for £30 million who's not as good?
Are you
and
gonna
doesn't
buy-
offer the
Wait, are you
same
going to buy him
things.
for 30 million?
Mazwari, they're saying like, it's more than, he costs more than Wan-Bissaka.
Oh, fairs. I would buy him for around
But
the
it's
same.
because
But
obviously-
he's a more front forward.
I don't
he's
think
a more.
he is. I think he-
No, he is. He's good going forward.
On paper. I
He's
think
good going forward.
in practice you will see why doesn't he play for his team is the question I have.
Oh, for Bayern because they got Kimmich.
He's not that great of a right back.
I'm not sure about that. Kimmich is a good right back, like very solid. He's also a big leader in their team as well.
So he got bought for big money. Hasn't
Was he bought for big money?
he's been sold at a loss? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I think he's all right.
Just doesn't inspire me with confidence.
Like I said, I feel like with Wan-Bissaka, it's like, are you gonna really renew his contract?
I would.
That's the problem.
No, man.
I would.
United need to start looking forward. You're too connected to players that haven't been good enough.
No, I'd sell about 50% of that squad, but Wan-Bissaka would be one of the people I keep just because he's situational. And again, he'd have
But the
usage
guys
in
you
the
want to
squad.
sell
But
have no sell value.
The problem is the contract. Like because it's his last contract, he'd be looking for like big money.
Yeah.
Like he'd probably ask for you'd probably have to get him on it'd be above 100.
Yeah, you would be asking for like 150.
Boom, boom.
That's what I mean. You may as well just.
And if he's not going to be your starting right back, you can't
You can't justify
justify
that. Yeah,
that.
you can't justify
So I
that.
see it, but
So you see how he's kind of arguing. My
no,
point?
but I don't think Dallo should be our start. I think Wan-Bissaka should be our starting right back over Dallo.
But if you want to play, if the way United want to play, right?
Yeah.
You can't have Wan-Bissaka as your starting right back.
But I think Dalot is better in the aspects. Wan-Bissaka is better in the attacking aspects that Dalot is supposed to be better at.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't really think. I think Dalot's better.
No, I think he flatters to deceive. I think he's
I think
such a.
Dalot's better.
I think
Not that
he's
Dalot's good enough. I
nothing
think you may as well try it with this Bayern guy.
I think Dalot will come good.
Let's not do.
He's
May
got,
as well
yeah,
try.
I think Dalot's got the capability to do more. Like Wan-Bissaka, you just know he's sitting on the ball. He will always be a bit
I disagree.
awkward.
I disagree.
Very
He
awkward.
looks very. He looks awkward, but he's actually
He looks
quite
awkward, but he's
effective.
press resistant as well.
Yeah,
though.
he's very. He's
People
actually
don't know
very.
He's
press
improved a
resistant.
lot.
No,
he has
honestly.
improved a lot since he went to United.
Again, you get because we're United fans, people are just gonna say they're just gonna chat shit.
Word.
Watch Wan-Bissaka. The guy is very like on the ball. He's very press resistant. Whether or not he's doing stuff that is actually effective with the ball, taking the ball off him is difficult.
He's got like a little random dribble in him.
He's got
a random.
You know?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No,
I don't
he's
think he
got
knows
small
what he's
jinky
saying.
majinky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he knows what he's doing, but he can he can kind of evade.
But it
pressure.
comes
What
off-
does he do?
it comes
He
off-
can't really cross. Can't really pass that
I
one.
think his crossing is
Martial
underrated.
Are you talking about that one cross? Have some fucking shame,
All
man.
right, all right. You tell me about the one time Trent has done a slide tackle. It's the same shit.
Oh, it's not the same.
How is it not the same? Tell me about the one
not the
time
same.
that Trent's done a slide tackle or
Trent's
done a
not-
defensive
Trent's
action
Trent's
that
not
is
good
wavy.
defensively. But I genuinely think with the way you fullbacks are now, like their attacking is kind of more important for a top side.
Hold on.
Especially
Hold on.
over
Let me
the
stop you there.
league.
So,
Let me
because
stop
a
you
lot
there.
of fullbacks
Let
are
me stop you there.
centre-backs.
Let me stop you there. Hold on. But the two top side in the Premier Leagues are both replacing all their fullbacks with centre backs. So how do you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, to be fair, that's the way that they're playing. But the centre backs that they're replacing with are very good on the ball, though.
But
They're very good on the ball.
okay, fine. But the defensive.
You need people that can build from the
But
back.
I
at
don't.
least.
But do you? But
I don't think you can build with Wan-Bissaka. I think that's what you want to say.
I agree with that though. I do agree with that.
I think he's fine.
No. He gets targeted.
Yeah.
He gets.
He's
bet-
a press trigger.
If Casemiro is gonna be in our midfield, then like
How have you
Wan-Bissaka
made
is
Mr.
not.
Bain-
Wan-Bissaka is
how
not
is
my
he- how
problem
does
in
he
the
do this?
build-up. Wan-Bissaka is not my problem in the build-up.
Anyway, we're doing another
does he
20
do
minutes.
this
I don't know. Let's end the other 20-minute tangent on Man United. Whatever you say, man. Wan-Bissaka is a fantastic player, man. Next alarm. But yeah, unless there's any other takers for what's going on in football, and given the fact that it is still 42 degrees in here, I will be rounding up the Rondo. That is the Rondo for you. We will see you again next week after the Community Shield, and then the Premier League is starting.